Watching the differences between the poor side and the rich side of Coachella just makes me realize how hard it is to be a woman because
So you mean to tell me that there's a poor side and a rich side at this Coachella event?
May Coachella never find me. Listen, have you seen the girl on TikTok where she's talking about how she got food poisoning?
So the brand we're going to Coachella with kind of ghosted us, and our flight is literally in 5 a.m. and it's 9:30 p.m. right now. I might not physically go to Coachella, but I will never miss out on a Coachella video. And this is probably my 3rd year attending the Coachella comment section comedy. Okay, so this lady is posting her update, and she's basically saying that she's so far away from food, so far away from the shower. She's in like lot 7, which is like for poor people. Someone in the comment section was like, the poor side of Coachella looks so exhausting. And then someone else replied to the comment and was like, oh my gosh, yes, it is. I've cried till 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm over it. Why are y'all choosing the struggle? Like, if you can't really do Coachella, like the luxury glamping and all the things, like, there's 2 different sides of Coachella. But if you really can't do Coachella, baby, you might want to stay home. Like, just stay home and just be like me and watch from afar.
Okay, ladies, here's your camp spot. Okay, we're finally set up. I guess I'll go take a shower. Okay, guys, I really have to go to the bathroom, and then we should start getting ready. What's this for? Girl, the bathroom lines are like 2 hours long. Ew. Okay, we're almost there. Woo, Coachella, we made it. Total is $42.73. Oh no, I just got the corn dog and the monster. Correct, $42.73. Okay. Thank you. Can you see anything? No, people keep pushing me. Oh my god, is that our house?
watching the differences between the poor side and the rich side of Coachella just makes me realize how hard it is to be a woman, because imagine being on day 2 of your period and the heat stuck all day, finally ready to take a shower to de-cleanse. And you're showering out of a bucket. You're showering out of a bucket. But looking at the poor side of it and realizing there's so many girls out there on their period right now having to walk around in the heat, no shower, no freshening up, not even a sink to make it a little bit easier when you're wiping. No, but all seriousness, like, I genuinely have anxiety looking at some of these videos, because I'm like, y'all, I don't know how I could last. Everybody musty, everyone smells like sweat. Men are around you. Oh, that's... Alcohol is out of the roof. Everybody on some sort of thing. And I feel like if you're poor and you're on the poor side, it's just basically like a hobo session. Like, everybody's camped out, drunk as hell. They're all giggling and laughing like this is a good time. But you all feel really gross. Like even the ancestors even got a shower at the end of the day after building a pyramid or building these monumentous artifacts and, like, you know, things that are impacting our lives still today. They at least had a shower. Oh, guys, I can't.
I would love that. Give me my ID back. What? Come on. Hi. Tell everyone I say hi. We love it here. Thank you. Thank you.
This behavior is absolutely insane. And why did you have his ID under your laptop? This creator, Maddie Rossi, purchased his Coachella wristband from StubHub, and the person who had resold it ended up reporting it lost or stolen, so he no longer could go inside, even though he was there the day before. So it worked just fine the first day, and suddenly now he can't get in. Well, the security guard here and that very rude person inside ends up taking his ID, which he wants back, obviously. And after politely arguing with them, he was not rude to them, this person pulls out the ID under the laptop and throws it at him. Now, for a second, I wondered if this was some sort of insider scam where they pretend the things don't work and they take the tickets themselves or resell them, something like that. But no, because there are hundreds of people who are having the same issue, not just with StubHub, but with Coachella's actual website. In case anyone was worried, he did end up getting in. This poor girl says the same thing happened to her, and she purchased from the Coachella resale website. And somehow the person was able to report it lost or stolen, she doesn't get to go in. And I have to give this girl props because she handled this a million times better than I ever could have. And she made the best of her weekend, very positive. It was actually so refreshing to see. But regardless, this never should have been able to happen in the first place. Same thing happened to this girl. And again, she used the Coachella website. And they're talking to some employees that told them you can still get scammed even if you use the Coachella website, which is just insane. This guy had StubHub cancel his tickets 2 days before Coachella, and they said the best they could do was give him a refund. And another girl who can't go to Coachella because she says AXS scammed her out of her tickets. Oh, and let's not forget the endless amount of Airbnbs who last minute canceled and then relisted their Airbnbs for an insane price. But I do want to end this on a positive note. Tana went to go see Justin Bieber and decided the vibes just weren't good. She said, I'm 27. I need to be well rested. I have things to do. Apparently, she's going to meet Adam Sandler. I would like to have more details about that. But regardless, she decided to give 3 of her wristbands to people who wanted to go to Coachella who were nearby. And that's exactly what she did. She made the post. She said, just DM me if you're close by. You can come get the tickets and you can go to Coachella. It was honestly just so sweet. And imagine being at your house knowing good and well you can't go to Coachella, and then 30 minutes later, you're meeting with Tana to get tickets and you're going to Coachella that night. Yes, I know that these are first world problems. There are so much more important things going on in the world, but I cannot stand a scammer. People work so hard for their money. They get this one weekend that they hopefully get to have a fun time, get away from their jobs, their daily stress in life, any type of grief they're going through. They can just have one weekend to just have some fun. Then you have such low life people out there that will just, oh, let me just cancel the ticket. I'm going to keep the money and I'm probably going to go to the festival too. Free ticket for me. I made some money off of it. I get to have a good time, and I just cost someone so much money, not just in the tickets, but a lot of these people got hotels, Airbnbs. They paid money to travel, and all of that gone. The Coachella website, StubHub, all of these resale places, they have to put something in place where people cannot report something lost or stolen after it's been sold, because how is that even a thing? They can see in their system that the ticket has been transferred and now somebody else is in possession of it. The last person should not be able to go in there and say, oh, hey, it's lost or stolen now. Hopefully next weekend will be better for people. I personally do not have Coachella FOMO. I like my house and my own bed and my shower and not having to wait in line for hours for food and to go to the bathroom. So I will, just keep watching from the comfort of my bed.
I'd like to thank the poor side of Coachella. You guys made me have no FOMO whatsoever. There was one girl I was following who waited 3 hours in line for a shower, and then she got food poisoning, and then spiders hatched in her fan. She said it was like 85 degrees, and a family of spiders hatched in her fan. So thanks to poor
Coachella cannot be that fun. I'm like, maybe I sound like a broke bitch and I sound like I'm hating. What? Coachella cannot be that fun. Showering outside, showering in buckets, showering in a van. It's hot, it's muddy, it's sweaty. Coachella cannot be that fun. I don't know if I've never in my life wanted to go to Coachella, but I feel like if the want ever approaches, I'm like, oh my God, I want to go to Coachella, I would have to wait until I'm wealthy. Because if I can't experience Coachella like the wealthy folks do, I don't want it. Y'all can keep it. That just seems like a big inconvenience. It's expensive. It looks uncomfortable. You can see 2 different sides of Coachella. You can see how the regular folks that probably make the same I make per year, you can see how they enjoy Coachella. And then you can see how the people that I've never been in rooms with, you can see how they're enjoying Coachella. I want to be with them. If I'm not going to be with them for Coachella, I don't want it. And if I have to wait until I'm 50 to go experience Coachella as a wealthy person, I'm just going to have to wait because I'm not going.
Rich Coachella and poor Coachella are 2 completely different things. And there's no middle class Coachella. There's just a little less poor Coachella. Like rich Coachella, fucking all the after parties, La Quinta, brands fucking let you go in their shit. Poor Coachella, you've been saving up for this for a while. We do this every year. $4,000 to get the gang together. It doesn't look fun. Rich Coachella looks awesome, but rich anything looks awesome. Like rich Coachella, you get to sleep and shower and like have air conditioning, and there's pools. They all got pools. Poor Coachella, you're staying in a Coleman, a 2-person tent with 6 people. You could have pulled this off on your front lawn with a JBL and some Molly. Like, poor Coachella never trends. Poor Coachella looks like when we had the war in Afghanistan, but if Fashion Nova sponsored the soldiers. Rich Coachella, you have space to dance. Y'all are in the front row. You fucking Bieber could spit on you. Poor Coachella is like, you can't breathe. It's just a sardine can of people. And you're all just making the best out of a bad situation, but it's kind of fun because the music's good. Or you just stand super far away to where you can still hear the music and dance with friends. Which again, could have been accomplished in a backyard with a JBL. Rich Coachella, you're at the after parties. Poor Coachella, you're still waiting in line to shower and just deciding, I may just not do it. Nobody else showered. And I know what people are thinking, like, he's probably just jealous he's not at Coachella. No, I'm not. I'd go if I got paid, 100%. Bro, if a brand let me go, absolutely, I'm enjoying the shit out of it. But for the amount of money that I'm calculating a Coachella trip could be, I could fly to Amsterdam, smoke myself silly, and go chill in a gondola. But I'm just poking fun. If you're having a good time, that's all that matters. Enjoy your shit. I'm poking fun because that shit's extremely expensive, and it'll probably be a great time because of the people you went with. But if you're selling me on the idea, Rich Chella's the only one that looks.
So you mean to tell me that there's a poor side and a rich side at this Coachella event, and the way how they have these showers set up on the poor side, clearly they're making their own showers. I don't think they're cleaning themselves all the way. But on the rich side, they have their own showers, like their own facility of showers where they can go inside and clean and get down to the nitty gritty. And I'm like, oh my God. I feel like they're having orgies at this event. I feel like they're going really crazy, especially the more earthy people on the poor side. I feel like it's very, very stank. But yeah, they're just having orgies at this event. Very crazy, very diabolical. But I wish everything goes well. It's a nice event. Yeah. Shout out to Coachella.
So far, Coachella is an absolute disaster. And no, not just the poor side of Coachella, all of Coachella. Not only has camping already been so much more messier than usual, where people have gotten their stuff stolen and destroyed after some people have spent tens of thousands of dollars on their campsite. Even more worse, one group literally had a tree fall on their campsite, as well as people who paid so many extra money to get powered car camping. Allegedly, they didn't even have enough extension cords for everybody who paid for them. And even more insaner, everything is seemingly so much more expensiver this year. And don't get me wrong, I love Justin Bieber as much as the next person, but almost $150 for a screen printed sweatshirt. And don't even get me started on prices. Some people are saying it's like $50 for 2 slices of pizza and a soda pop. But even more scarier, the lines for food this year are so much more shorter because allegedly everyone's on Ozempic. And influencers have completely ruined Coachella once again. So many influencers are complaining that they never even made it to Coachella because they were either dropped by a brand right before or their Airbnb canceled on them. And now that there are so much more influencers there than usual, they are taking up all of the expensive houses that cost anywhere between like $40,000 and $200,000 for 3 days. And while some influencers, their outfits do look so much more gooder than a lot of others, some influencers are literally paying $5,000 for a stylist just to put them in a cowboy hat and a jean skirt. It truly is the influencer Olympics. And don't even get me started on James Charles's 2026 outfit. And even more pathetic are so many people say that they want 2016 Coachella back, yet I've only seen like 6 or 7 flower crowns. Every single swipe I'm getting Coachella videos. I feel like I'm in the Hunger Games watching from District 12. And even more wilder, people are saying that this year is cursed after for like the first time in forever because the winds were too strong. But right before he was on, Sabrina Carpenter's played, where she seemingly had no issues, except for the part where she literally dissed one of her fans. But with all that said, I hope I get invited next year. Would you ever go to Coachella?
You think you know what Coachella is, but you don't. I'm going to explain to you what Coachella is now, and you're going to listen to every single second of it and enjoy it. So basically, Coachella, you think, is a festival. That's not true. For rich people, for celebrities, for influencers, for the people that are actually going there that you're following there, it's not a festival. It's actually just a grid next to the festival. So while Coachella is going on, the festival, there is a grid next to Coachella. And brands and companies and corporations and influencers and talent agencies all rent these houses on the grid. They rent for crazy amounts of money, $20,000 a day, $30,000 a day, etc., maybe more. And what they do is basically they throw brand activations, put influencers in a house, and do a bunch of brand stuff. This place is like a brand circus Disney World, basically, for them. And then for you guys are like, we're going camping. We're going to tent out at Coachella. That's what our favorite celebrities are doing. They're not. No one's doing that. It's barbaric. It's anarchy. It's crazy. It's like, it's cattle, basically, moving through a farm and getting tickets, and then everywhere you go is a prison, essentially. You're locked into a grid of your own grid, but your own grid is a camping prison system based on really overpriced inflation charges on food and anything you want to do to exist. Basically, they have you trapped for 2-3 days, and they're going to milk you for everything you are worth beyond the ticket, beyond the travel and the hotel expenses, and you're going to enjoy it and say it was the best weekend of your life. Was it actually? Probably not for most of you. But for many of you, you'll still LARP as if it was. And the reason why is because all the influencers and celebrities go, so you think you're all going to the same place, and it gives you access to things that wealthy people are doing in your mind. But in reality, the experience is completely and utterly different for both of you. They're going to rented properties and doing brand deliverables, getting paid exorbitant amounts of money to be able to be there in the first place, whereas you are schlepping, tenting, camping. I mean, best case scenario, you're like on the upper class of things, and you're in the hotel room with a bunch of other dweebs basically going and doing this experience that you think is like Disney World when it's like Diet Disney World. And not even Diet Disney World, it's like this complete mirage and the illusion of like what it really is. What it really is 10 blocks of rented mansions and parties and celebrities and brands throwing money to be relevant. And what you're going to is like a camping experiment, social experiment, really. It's kind of like some of those Balenciaga boots. It's like more of like a you actually bought that shit type of thing. It's a reflection of who you are as a person and where you're at mentally, self-wise, or a small percentage of you just fucking love going to festivals and partying and doing whatever, you know.
So this girl is getting absolutely roasted right now because she was 2 miles away from the Coachella entrance and she was stuck in her Uber for 2 hours, but she didn't just get out and walk. And this is where it gets more worse. She is getting absolutely flamed right now. And I actually know this girl because she's my sister. And our house just completely burned down a few months ago. And now everybody's being so mean to her. Oh, but this is where it gets even more insaner because not only does she live in New York City, she then flew from New York City all the way across the country to Los Angeles. Not only did her flight initially get canceled, but then this is where it gets even more insaner because then she took a 4-hour Uber ride from LAX to Coachella. You guys want to know how much she spent on this 4-hour Uber to Coachella? Over $500! This could have been my birthday present. But even more wilder, now that she is going viral on Twitter, has people saying, oh, she should have walked. But I just got an exclusive interview with her. But even more sadder, I just interviewed her, but she won't let me post it because she feels like this whole Uber story is so much more embarrassing her than she had ever imagined. But if this post gets 100,000 likes, I'm sure she'll feel a lot more support. She'll spill all the Coachella tea.
This is our 2025 Coachella car camping setup. We are in lot 5A in this corner spot. So if you're out here, come find us. Weekend 1, super sick. This is all of the groovy vibes. We have a hammock. We have a bubble machine. We have this portable shower. And this first tent that we have set up here, this is our kitchen / meal prep area. We have all of our food, drinks, and ice chest. Then the second tent is our living room lounge area. We have an inflatable couch, bunch of lounge chairs, beer pong, disco ball, a piñata. We also have these misters that are coming in clutch because it's literally 90 degrees already at 11 a.m. The second room here is our changing room / getting ready area. The girls will kind of be doing their makeup and stuff right here. We have a clothes hanger. We have this Y2K backdrop for some photos. I mean, the whole setup is perfect.
The differences between the rich side of Coachella and the poor side of Coachella is something. Because there are things I thought I would never see. Okay, so when it comes to the rich side of Coachella, the first person who pops up is Sophie Rain. As you guys know, she spent almost $200K for this Coachella trip. So you know she's ballin'. But all of a sudden, Kylie Jenner decided to stunt herself and show where she's staying at. As you can see, the mansion where she's staying at is incredible. Just look at this. It has its own basketball courts. It even has its own theater. Crazy. Now, staying on the rich side of Coachella, we have influencers showing their houses. This is where Sierra Ortega from Love Island is staying at. Like, it's not Kylie Jenner's place, but like, it's not bad either. And I want you guys to keep in mind, this is the rich side of Coachella. Do you want to know what the poor side of Coachella is doing? The poor side of Coachella is doing something called performative camping, and it's all because of this guy. He actually started this trend last year. He went viral last year for flexing out his Coachella camp. Like, he actually has a whole setup right here. He has a couch. He has a rug. Like, why go through all this if you're going to be in like 90-degree weather? It doesn't make any sense. And from there, people started copying this guy. Regular people are actually blowing money away on a Coachella trip just to sweat in a tent.
May Coachella never find me. Listen, have you seen the girl on TikTok where she's talking about how she got food poisoning and spiders in her fan at Coachella, but yet she keeps eating and she's like, my stomach hurts, but yet she's eating Chipotle at Coachella? I'm just like, girl, maybe you should stop eating at Coachella. She was talking about how she had food poisoning. She's like, but don't worry, I'm not going to give you all the details. And I'm like, you are at Coachella. You are in the desert, in a tent with a porta potty and food poisoning. I don't need any more details. Those are all the details to know. I don't need any more details. I have an imaginative mind and I can put those pieces together. I don't need to hear about it anymore. But do you think she's at Camp Poosh trying to get some probiotics? No, she's literally talking about how her stomach still hurts and she's over here eating Chipotle. And I'm just like, do you not remember the stories about Chipotle? Like, what do you think about Chipotle is going to fix your food poisoning? You just had food poisoning, and now you're eating Chipotle in the desert at Coachella. Like, make it make sense. But then it gets even worse because she's just like, oh, yeah, and then a spider hatched in my fan. Which sounds dirty, I know. Sounds like something a little kinky. But then she shows us her literal fan in her tent in her desert that probably smells foul with the food poisoning. Because I don't know how many times she went and waited in that 2-hour line to go use the porta potty when she has food poisoning. But then she shows us her actual, like her literal fan. And there was a spider that I guess went in there and hatched some eggs. So then when she turns on her fan, I don't really know what happens. But again, imaginative mind. And I'm pretty sure like the scene in her porta potty, the spiders are just flying around everywhere. And it's just one hot shitstorm. So may Coachella never find me. From the people that they got scammed. Apparently a lot of people got scammed with their Coachella tickets, even the ones that bought resale tickets off of the official Coachella website. Lawsuit waiting to happen. All the influencers that are trying to turn this into Astroworld 2.0. No. Everything about Coachella is just an immediate no. You want me to pay $10 for a super duper shower? You know where I could get a super duper shower? Right here. Hot water. I have 2 showers. I have my bathroom and then I have a guest bathroom. And you know what? I can wash my ass in the kitchen sink if I want to, and it'll still be better than a super duper shower. May Coachella never.
Coachella showers. Day 1, we went first thing in the morning and not too many people had been through yet. The line wasn't too bad, but the whole thing still took about an hour. Day 2, total regret. Different shower station and people had their products and hair everywhere. I was done. Never again. Thankfully, we had our own shower tent, but the gravity bag we brought, it was a total fail. It wasn't practical. So when we got home, we upgraded to this rechargeable portable shower head. You just drop it in a bucket of water and then you have steady flowing water. It's an absolute game changer if you're car camping.
What do you mean these Coachella mansions are just empty the majority of the day? Y'all are leaving the $5 million mansion with the pool, hot tub, sauna, 5,000 square feet, private chef, to go roll around in the dirt, stand on your feet all day in 110 degree heat. I'm not leaving the house. What are y'all talking about? Y'all don't even need to get me the wristband. We'll put up a projector. We'll watch it from the pool. I'm not going. I'm sure we can hear it from the backyard. Good enough.
And I do want to talk about the difference between how people go to Coachella. And I normally don't know nothing about Coachella except for this year. It's like all over my explore page. But there's like a clear difference. So there's a video of a guy showing the nice version of Coachella where it's like a mini neighborhood. It's very cute, clean, organized. It's like a mini neighborhood. They have apartment numbers or unit numbers. I don't know. And the inside is fully furnished. Some guy put out a playing set of cards to make it look like, I don't know what the reason was for that. But nevertheless, then the other side, they're in like tents where the wind is gusting. There's people coughing in the background like they're at war. Like, and they look like That Coachella was like that. I didn't know that there was two sides of Coachella, but it's so interesting. I'll never go, but it's like,
I thought y'all said black people were at Coachella. There's no black people here. It is a rare sighting to see a black person at Coachella right now, and I don't like that. I don't like that.
These new videos of people showering at Coachella has to be one of the most nastiest things I have ever seen, and you couldn't pay me any amount of money to do it. You are paying tens of thousands of dollars to suffer for 4 days. And this is where it gets even more worser, because there's different tiers of showers, where the most lowest tier, there are people literally waiting in line for hours just so they can get like a freezing cold shower. And even more insane are some people are literally walking miles to get from their campsite to the shower to wait in line for potentially hours, where people spend hundreds of dollars on shower accessories to make their own shower tents because they don't want to wait in the most longest line ever. But this is where it gets more better, because you can basically skip that line for $10. And this is where it gets more better, because it's basically the exact same thing, just for $10 more. And everybody's phones are always overheating. But comparing that to the rich side of Coachella, where there are seemingly no lines for showers, they literally supply you with everything. Coachella is literally the real life Hungry Games. You'd literally have to pay me $1 million to do this. Would you ever go to Coachella?
Okay, so let's talk about Coachella. Not just the festival, but the actual place where people live. Am I about to be a party pooper? Yes, I am. Because social media is about to get flooded with images of all the celebrities and the outfits and the fun. But those images are in stark contrast with the reality of the people who actually live in Coachella Valley. I know this because I lived in Coachella Valley. It's where I had my first reporting job, and I had to go out to interview farm workers living in terrible conditions. And I cannot stress this enough. These are the people who harvest the food we eat. We depend on their labor, yet some of them get paid below the poverty line. So they can only afford to live in places like mobile home parks where there's arsenic in the water. Arsenic, like the thing that can give you cancer. And this is the same location where the festival comes in every year and makes more than $100 million in profit. Yeah, some businesses will benefit from that economic activity, but most of the people living in Coachella Valley will not see that money. But the CEO of the company in charge of the festival, he's a billionaire. My question to you is that disparity fair? Is it fair that the people putting on these shows are billionaires while the people picking the food that we eat are living below the poverty line? And I know people in the comments are going to tell me, how is that my fault? I'm just going to have fun. I get it. But for as long as we don't care, nothing will change. Because I see all these posts about the fun and the outfits go viral, but all the journalism showing you what life for these farm workers is like sometimes goes ignored. And we know that companies and politicians respond to public pressure, but if they don't feel the pressure to do justice by these people, they won't.
He brought more furniture to his tent than most people have in their entire apartment. At Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival, one festival goer is going viral for turning a simple campsite into what looks like a fully furnished living space. Not just decorations, an actual sectional couch, potted plants, a real table, a director's chair, and even a ceiling fan inside the tent. And somehow that's not even the wildest part. The entire setup is packed into a festival campsite surrounded by battery-powered fans, creating a space that looks more comfortable than some people's homes right in the middle of the desert. What started as one guy going over the top last year has now turned into a trend. More people are copying the idea, bringing bigger setups, more furniture, and turning camping into something closer to who can build the most insane mini apartment. Online, people are torn. Some are clowning it, saying it defeats the whole point of camping, but others are being honest, it actually looks kind of amazing.
Here's a breakdown of how much I spent to go to Coachella this year. So by far, the most expensive thing to go to Coachella is your wristband. For me, going VIP is the only way. I did VIP my first year, and there is just no way that I could do general a lot, not because I'm a snobby bitch, it's just because I have to pee all the time. Bathrooms in general are not okay. So basically, I spent an extra $1,000 just so I can use the toilet. The second most expensive part of Coachella is the outfits. I think I went a lot cheaper this year. I was choosing brands like Super Down, things that weren't that expensive, but still my outfits total to around $1,000 for the weekend. This does include new shoes, so that was pretty costly. The third most expensive thing is the stay. So that I really got lucky though, where I found an Airbnb for $2,300 and I'm splitting it amongst the girlies and we're all spending $500 each. But that's really cheap for Coachella, so So when you do it in advance, it really does help. Third most expensive things are all my accessories. So I went crazy on Shein and bought like a bunch of jewelry. I got like cowgirl hat, all those things, as well as like a portable charger, something to wear for blisters, like all of that cost around $300. And believe it or not, gas is the cheapest thing. 2 years ago I flew, but me and my girlfriend are gonna drive down, so I just imagine around $100. Total, I'm looking around $3,900 just to go to Coachella, which is pretty crazy because I could be in Europe. I really had so much fun the first time I went. I felt like a little kid. I just like that feeling felt so good. Let's hit it up for JB.
Have you ever wondered how much it costs a normal person to go to Coachella? Let's do a little content creator transparency time. I don't know if anyone will be this honest with you, but I will, okay? I need a hotel, right? Because I can't stay in the desert. Hey, how much do you think a 3-night stay is at a hotel? Can we think? I know it's gonna be expensive. It's Coachella season, high traffic. I'm prepared, okay? I go to look up a hotel that I've stayed at before. 3 nights. What's your guess? What's your guess? Hi, $9,000. Do you got it? Pre-tax, yeah. Okay, what about La Quinta Inn, the little corner La Quinta Inn? Yeah, $6,000. Oh, yeah. And that's not counting your flight. That is not counting your food, your transportation, tickets to the festival. Granted, I am doing this last, but I thought it would be fun to kind of tell you that, yeah, it's probably gonna end up costing me like literally like $12,000 to $15,000 if I, that is life-changing amounts of money. I'm not staying at that hotel for $9,000, honey. I'm not. $9,000? That's like 3 months worth of rent. I'm a Goda humble queen and I refuse to spend that. But I'm gonna find a way to do it like reasonably because I'm not spending $9,000 on 3 nights. 3 nights, that's 36 hours. 36 hours, $9,000. Hey, that's crazy to me.
If you're not going to Coachella and you feel really left out, let me tell you why you shouldn't. As someone who went as a normal person and not as an influencer, it was one of the worst concert experiences I've ever had. If you're not going as an influencer, you don't have your entire trip paid for, and Coachella costs like thousands of dollars. The accommodation, the Ubers, the actual festival itself are all so freaking expensive, like super insanely expensive, like thousands of dollars. And the accommodations you find will be overpriced and they're not even that good. Getting inside the festival is a nightmare. Firstly, there's no place for you to be dropped off at. Festival's like really disorganized. So I remember we asked like 20 different people, where do we go? And they were like, oh, we don't know. And they actually worked for the event. So you'll end up sitting in traffic for most of the time before you can find a spot and get dropped off. You think that's the end of it, right? But no, you have another what feels like an hour-long walk to actually get into the festival. The walk you have to do is on this super dusty, bumpy, like unpaved road, which was really hard for my friend because they were in a wheelchair. So I was trying to pull them and then I felt bad because they kept getting knocked over and falling out of their wheelchair. So it was not like wheelchair accessible friendly. Blazing sun is so hot, but there's no places to sit, there's no shade, so you end up just sitting on the ground and it can get really, really dirty and people just kind of throw their garbage around. You'll have 2 people playing at once and you'll be like, okay, I can go from one person to the next, but it feels like each stage is like 30 minutes away from each other. So by the time you can run over to the next stage, like that set is over. So you end up just missing a lot of your favorite people and you only end up getting to see like 5 or 10 minutes of the people you like because you're trying to run all over the place. How much you're paying, I would expect the festival to be decorated really cute, but it's really plainly decorated. Like they threw 1 or 2 things here, and most of the things that you see are the stuff that people take pictures in front of and stuff, but that's kind of it. It's not as well decorated as I thought it would be, so that was really disappointing because for me that's really important. Everyone's vibe is really, really bad. A lot of people were pretty mean. Everyone's just there to say that they were there and to be like, oh, I'm at Coachella, and it's less about the music and more just about like kind of showing off. It felt like when I've been at other concerts, everyone's pretty nice about letting you through and stuff, but at Coachella everyone can get pretty mean and be like, no, you're not coming this way and stuff, you can't go through. So it's like harder to work your way through the crowd or to reconnect with your friends or anything if you lose them. It's not as easy to take cute pictures as you think. Literally everyone's taking pictures. It's like a field of cow, but instead of cows it's people. And so everywhere you go, when you try to take a cute picture, someone will bump into you, they'll run into you. There's like 500 people behind you in your photo, so it's like harder to get those cute pics that you see. I ended up having artist guest pass for the last night, but I was so sick because during the daytime it's burning hot and then at nighttime it's freezing cold and the dust is really, really intense. Like you'll blow your nose and there'll be black dirt coming out of your nose, so I just got really sick from the extreme weather changes and the dust. So the 3rd night I couldn't even enjoy the festival and I probably was only there for like 30 minutes and I had to leave. And so yeah, I don't recommend. I definitely think there's way better concerts and festivals to go to that are way more cheaper and way more fun and way more worth the money. Don't feel bad if you're missing out.
Everyone is starting to be less speechless after seeing the difference between the rich side of Coachella versus the poor side of Coachella. Starting off with the rich side of Coachella, you got people like Sophie Rain spending well over $200,000 to go to Coachella without even blinking an eye. Then you got influencers being invited to Coachella by many brands, staying in some really nice houses with all their expenses being paid for throughout the entire time they're there. And then finally you have people like Kylie Jenner taking a private jet to Coachella, staying in the nicest house you probably have ever seen in your entire life. And of course, all of them get to stand front row for all the performances at Coachella. And then you got the poor side of Coachella, the people that were saving up money throughout the entire year, barely having enough to be able to go, sleeping in like the smallest tents ever while sweating 24/7, waiting in line for hours to take a shower, sometimes not even being able to take a shower because the showers at Coachella close at 7. Then, of course, eating warm food, drinking warm drinks, and sometimes even sleeping on the floor near the stage to try to get the best seats in the house before everyone else. The experience if you're rich going to Coachella versus the experience when you're poor going to Coachella is truly night and day, that is for sure, and I'm really curious to know your thoughts about all of this.
How much does it cost to go to Coachella with receipts? So obviously I am not a brand friendly influencer, so I had to pay for Coachella all on my own. And I'm going to Coachella with the entire Bop House, the assistants and stylists, so I had to get 12 tickets. We got 12 artist passes and a table at the main stage, and it ended up being $67,980. You guys know me, so obviously I booked a private jet, and a round trip to Coachella Valley cost me $37,490. We originally had an Airbnb booked way in advance for $29,000, but they canceled on us 3 days before the event. So we had to book another Airbnb, and that total was $83,375. And as I said prior, I got a stylist, and all of the clothes that she got me ended up totaling to be $5,000. So the total cost for 3 days at Coachella is $192,845.86. Do you guys think this is
I was packing to go to Coachella this morning, and on my For You page, there's just an abundance of videos of girls being like, I can't believe like this brand randomly uninvited me last minute, like Airbnb cancellations. I'm thinking like, oh my god, I can't believe like this is happening. Like this is so insane. I can't believe people are doing this. Then I get a text from my manager. I'm not going to Coachella anymore on the birthday. 2 weeks before all of this, I had 2 options to go to Coachella. One of them was with a brand that I loved, but it just wasn't the best situation for me personally. And the second one came super last minute, and they offered like full flight, full accommodation, VIP tickets, everything. And I'm thinking this is like so good. Even though it's all last minute, it's all coming together. Like I finna be in the pit. As soon as they tell me like, okay, we can confirm you, they ghosted. So this is last week. Thursday up until Monday of this week, they completely radio silence ghosted me. I was thinking as of 2 days ago, I was not going to Coachella. And then randomly last night, in the middle of the fucking night, the brand reaches out back to me and it's like, okay, send your clothing info, send your address, send everything, like flights, everything, we got you covered. And like one of the big agreements this weekend was like I only had to wear their clothes, which I was like, okay, like I'm fine with that. Today I'm thinking everything is back on, like let's get this going. Then they asked me to sign this contract, and it basically said I wasn't allowed to go to any other event at Coachella. And this would have been fine if they had told me this in the beginning, but I had already RSVP'd to Camp Poosh, Revolve Fest, 818 Pose. Then I get back to them, I'm like, this is low-key so sneaky, like what the hell, y'all just snuck that into the contract. So then I asked them like, would it be okay if I just attend maybe just one event? Instead of like responding back being yes or no, they fully were like, we're about to drop you, and then have completely ghosted me from then. So basically, I don't think I'm going anymore. Like, trust me, I'm not trying to sound ungrateful at all. I just think the communication was like so disappointing because people were planning this in real time. Like, I was getting ready for this in real time. Obviously, I'm so grateful that I even have these opportunities presented to me in the first place. And I know this is not the end of the world, like, clearly. But yeah, that's my full story, and that all happened this morning. So that's my vibe.
Here's what it's like to go VIP at Coachella. My partner worked for a brand who covered our whole experience, including our hotel and tickets. So I just chilled by the pool during the day, had some amazing food, and got ready to go to the festival. It was super peaceful and chill vibes at the hotel, and luckily the brand paid for a party bus to pick us all up and take us to and from the festival. It was even stocked with some drinks, had some cool lights, and it was air conditioned. We just played music on the way there. It was super cool. And once you got there, you got dropped off at a different entrance, so you really didn't have to wait in line. You then just scan right into the VIP section. This is only for VIP members. It has its own bathrooms and food areas as well. And it was just so much less crowded than the other parts of the festival. There was a VIP viewing area near the main stage, kind of hard to see here, but you also had the VIP food, and we'd still go to other stages as well. Once you're done partying for the day, the party bus picked us up and brought us back to the hotel at night. It was a great way to end the night. And yeah, that was my VIP experience at Coachella. Hope you enjoyed.
These new videos of people showering at Coachella has to be one of the most nastiest things I have ever seen, and you couldn't pay me any amount of money to do it. You are paying tens of thousands of dollars to suffer for 4 days. And this is where it gets even more worser, because there's different tiers of showers, where the most lowest tier, there are people literally waiting in line for hours just so they can get like a freezing cold shower. And even more insane are some people are literally walking miles to get from their campsite to the shower to wait in line for potentially hours, where people spend hundreds of dollars on shower accessories to make their own shower tents because they don't want to wait in the most longest line ever. But this is where it gets more better, because you can basically skip that line for $10. And this is where it gets more better, because it's basically the exact same thing, just for $10 more. And everybody's phones are always overheating. But comparing that to the rich side of Coachella, where there are seemingly no lines for showers, they literally supply you with everything. Coachella is literally the real life Hunger Games. You'd literally have to pay me $1 million to do this. Would you ever go to Coachella?
I think I'm going to Coachella. I'm not going to Coachella anymore. I literally found out yesterday. I received this text message, and yeah, let me just get into what's happened. So I actually just finished filming this video, but I fear I was way too calm, so I'm going to attack it in a completely different way, because I feel like I need to get my point across, and I'm really irritated, I'm not going to lie. I was meant to be going to Coachella. Evidently, I'm not, alongside all of the other girls who are meant to be going on this trip, and I am going to tell you guys exactly what had happened. So back in February, I received an email basically asking if I'm free for weekend 1 of Coachella, and that this agency were interested in inviting talent and if I could send along my analytics. So I sent along my analytics, we had a couple conversations. The promise of going to Coachella was 110% there, and essentially they came back, said they didn't want to take me. I accepted that I wasn't going. I was like, you know what, we tried, we go again next year. Until 2 weeks ago, I received an email from the same agency saying, oh, like they want to invite me, they have space, or whatever the case may be. They sent over the itinerary, what the deliverables were, everything was discussed, contract was discussed, everything was discussed, right? But then we fast forward to literally yesterday, 2 days before we're meant to be flying to Coachella, I received this text message basically saying that we are no longer going. I'm going to be so honest with you guys. I was very skeptical about this agency from the jump. I literally said to my manager, like, never heard of them before, never seen them before. Search them up on Google, can't find them on Google. Search up our rep, the person that we're in contact's name, can't find her. But I was like, oh girl, you're having imposter syndrome. Like, you're thinking that you're not going to Coachella, but you are. Like, relax, like you're good at your job, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, Asha, don't think like that. Like, it's not too good to be true. You're actually going. So obviously 2 weeks ago, I start planning for Coachella, you know, outfits, content, you know, reaching out to brand, all of the good things that you do when you've got a brand trip, when you're a content creator, all of that stuff, making sure that I've gotten everything that I need. But it was so important for me to see the contracts and my flight booking. It was very, very important to me, just because I was feeling a little bit iffy. And like I say, I told this to my manager from the jump. So last week I received a screenshot of my booking confirmation, and I was like, great, love it, got it. Ultimately, that's what kicks me off to start posting about the fact that I'm going to Coachella, and you guys would have seen the post that I made last week. So tell me why, when we received the message yesterday about us not going to Coachella, despite the fact that we have received booking confirmation and the status quite literally says confirmed on the screenshot with all of my flight details, what flight it is, etc., etc. Why does she then proceed in her message to then say that, oh, I've been going back and forth with the travel agent for the last couple of days trying to get things sorted? So basically, when you sent me a screenshot of my booking confirmation, it was a lie. Like, I genuinely don't even know what to say. Like, it's insane to me. Because essentially, as soon as I got confirmation that I was going on the trip, I mentally prepared for the fact that I was going on the trip. I made arrangements because you guys know I'm a guardian to my little brother and sister. I can't just up and leave the country. I have to make arrangements for stuff like that. And there's actually a girl who's also on the trip who's a mum. I'm more than sure she had to make arrangements for her child. I obviously began planning my content, getting my outfits. I invested time, effort, and my own money, only for you to give me such an incredible opportunity like Coachella and then take it away at the last minute. Like, it's ridiculous. Another thing, we were meant to be working with 3 brands, right? They were sponsoring this trip. We didn't receive the product that we needed to create the content. And like at the last minute, one of the brands pulled out. Like, the saxophones were getting louder. And I want to make this abundantly clear. It's not necessarily about the fact that it's Coachella. It could have been anything. It could have been any trip, any overnight stay, whatever. It's the principle of wasting people's time, effort, and money. Like, I'm not over that. Like, I just feel like certain influencer marketing people, or these fake influencer marketing people, really don't respect creators at all. And I've literally just found out this morning that our point of contact, she's done this before. This isn't her first rodeo. She's either scammed people out of their money. She's either done stuff like this before. This is actually ridiculous. And you know who you are. I'm not going to name you because I don't want to be sued for defamation of character or whatever, but your character needs to be deformed or whatever, because you are out here doing this to people and it don't make no sense. And you are so bad, man. I don't wish bad on people, but I am definitely side-eyeing you, young lady, because what the F? And just to be abundantly clear, because I know I'm going to get this question in the comments, yes, there was a contract. Yes, I got my flight confirmation. And yes, I did check to see if the flight confirmation details were correct. And I did find out when I downloaded the American Airlines website, it said that they couldn't confirm my booking. And I flagged this to my rep. And obviously there was no flight. So yeah, I don't know. If you guys could do me a solid and tag some brands in the comments, I would really appreciate it, because I'm not gonna lie, your girl is more than ready to go to Coachella, whether it's this weekend or next weekend. Yeah, honestly, I have no words. I still can't believe that this has happened to me and all the girls that, you know, we had a group chat and we were all talking about how excited we were and everything. But yeah, I guess it is what it is. And I guess that is the law behind me not going to Coachella anymore.
This is an update on the agency that canceled our Coachella trip literally 2 days before. Today is Thursday, and today is actually the day that I was supposed to be flying out. And obviously we are not doing that. I wanted to address a few things that have happened in the past 2 days. First thing being, a lot of people think this is like a PR stunt, which I really don't understand. Like, if I wanted brands to send me to Coachella, 1, I would have said that in the video, and 2, why would I post it 2 days before? I know very well, like, no brand is sending a creator 2 days before. And honestly, even if a brand were to reach out at this point, I have like trauma. It's going to be reimbursing us apparently for all of our expenses that we paid for. So hopefully that happens. She did say I was going to get all the money for the reimbursement by Friday, which is technically tomorrow. So I will keep you guys updated on whether or not I get paid. A lot of people had comments saying like, this is such a first world problem. And I'm very, very, very well aware. Like I said, I was even so fortunate to even get the opportunity. That's why I'm like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Obviously from now on, if I get an opportunity like this in the future, I will be very, very wary on like if I accept it or not. Honestly, I feel like I have every right to be upset. It was a major inconvenience for a lot of us on the trip. If she would have said it was canceled from when the brand dropped out like over a week ago, I would have been able to make accommodations in time. 2 days before, a lot of you were like, just buy your own ticket, you have money. Do you understand that like most accommodations are sold out for like a ridiculous price? Even if I were to get a ticket in time, I still have to pay for flights and accommodation now, and the flights are so expensive. I'm also a mom. Like I said, I made accommodations for my daughter. There are also 2 other girls on the trip that made accommodations the same way. Not to mention the creators on the trip that already made content for the brand. So imagine you making content, posting it, and then thinking you're gonna get a trip in exchange, and then she tells you it's completely canceled. Like, I would be upset. I think honestly they are going to be reimbursed for hopefully whatever they usually put as their rate. Even that's like super messy, because I'm like, how do you negotiate that now? Another thing I'm gonna address is this a scam? Was this whole trip just not gonna happen? And if I'm being quite honest with you, I do think it was gonna happen. I do. And this is my theory. This is all like my theory. So like, this may not be correct, but this is what I think actually happened. Obviously, for a brand deal, influencers get paid X amount of money for certain deliverables. This trip specifically originally was a lot of deliverables. So I think that she was working with originally the 3 brands for X amount of money. Let's say 10,000 per creator. There's 8 creators on the trip. Let's say it was 10,000 each. That would be $80,000. So I think what she was doing is using that money, the compensation for the deliverables, to pay for the trip, and like probably whatever else was like left over she would keep, because mind you, like none of us were getting paid to go to Coachella. Like it was in exchange for a free flight, a free stay, and tickets. So do I think like that was her motive, is to like get the little bit that was like left over for herself? Yeah, probably. Because the one brand dropped out, that's less money. But then none of the products came in on time. So she said, scratch all the content that you have to do before the trip. You're only gonna do the content during and after the trip, which is less deliverables, which equals less money. So at that point, you're probably looking at this overall and thinking it's probably not worth it because you're getting less profit off the top. And then the travel agent was not able to book the actual tickets. All the other girls had confirmation that the tickets were booked, but what really happened is the tickets from the travel agent were in holding. A lot of you guys commented saying your travel agents also, and it can show as confirmed, but really once you put the payment through, it's not confirmed until that happens. So essentially the tickets were in holding until they received the payment from the brand, but because the brand sent them a little late, they don't have the money to pay for all of our flights, which this should have been done before. So I think overall, she thought after that, like, it's just not worth it to continue going on with the trip. That's just my theory on like what I think happened. Also, I don't wish bad on the agent. She's like so sweet. I do think this was just very, very unorganized, and I try to see the good in people, but unfortunately a trip like this does take months of preparation, and we just ran out of time, and it should have been dealt with much sooner. But yeah, that's my like mini update. I will update you guys by end of day tomorrow if I am paid. But yeah, love you guys.
So the brand we're going to Coachella with kind of ghosted us, and our flight is literally in 5 a.m. and it's 9:30 p.m. right now. I'm still like packing, and I'm just gonna go straight to the airport. Like me and my friend are just gonna fly there. So if any brands wanna literally give us a ticket, or if you guys wanna give us a house, like we'll literally take anything because we're coming anyways. We're gonna be there Friday morning. I really don't know the logistics. I really don't know what's gonna happen. I'm kind of stressing out and scared. I even have my Coachella nails done. Like seriously, this is crazy. If any brand wants to give us flights or accommodations, like literally either one, just let us know. We are very flexible with deliverables. We will do anything, literally. We have our flights already. We're just gonna fly there, and hopefully when we land, there's good news. Please, 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 guys, tag the brands, please.
I'm not going to Coachella anymore. Yeah, basically I traveled all the way to LA for Coachella, but my tickets are still in customs. Customs take within 3 days to process, and the festival is tomorrow. Obviously, I didn't buy the tickets through Coachella itself, but through a third party, so there's no way that I can actually get my tickets on time. I guess I'm making this video. If anyone could offer some help or any advice, it would be much appreciated, because obviously as well, this whole trip was funded by myself through the flights, the accommodation, and also the ticket. Traveling all the way to LA and not actually getting into the festival will actually be one of the most heartbreaking things ever. Thank you so much to the Angie Certified Nation for always supporting and loving me like throughout. I really appreciate you guys, because generally without you, man, there's no way I'd be in LA and anyways in the first place. But yeah, this is the final push. If you have like 5 seconds of your day, please like and comment down below to keep the engagement up. Tag brands if you want, and share this video because this is kind of my last resort. So yeah guys, thank you so much once again, and I'll keep you updated.
They are posting videos claiming that they were invited and now have been uninvited to brand trips for Coachella super last minute. The overarching thing that I think is happening here is that the PR industry is incredibly overworked, understaffed, and underpaid. PR agencies are essentially like the middlemen between their clients, who are the brands. And I know that there's kind of like this running thing in the industry where they really feel like every client thinks that they're their only client. So I think brands, especially given how big some of these retainers are that they're paying, like, you know, they demand a lot. They expect a lot from the agencies that they're paying. So I think there's a lot of pressure on the brand side, and then you're like the middleman between the brand and the talent. I think it's just easy for things to fall through the cracks. And also, as somebody who is working alongside like agencies and brands all the time, I also know that brands can change their minds on like how they spend their budgets like that. And it's not always up to the marketing manager that you're dealing with directly.